This is Alan with D9J Sports. We're right back at it with another show. We got a good one lined up for you today. Well, on Monday morning, the transfer portal opened up, and it's making it really difficult on high school football players to obtain a scholarship. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the college football playoffs, where things can be changing. We're going to have a new champion. Ohio State's going to get knocked out. And ladies and gentlemen, we could have the Indiana Hoosiers. The Indiana Hoosiers, ladies and gentlemen, could be playing the Ole Miss Running Rebels. That's just a sign of how things have changed. Sit back, relax. Let's get ready to jump into this thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, the transfer portal opened up on Monday. So, that makes it really tough on high school football players. Over 1,000 athletes, 1,000 football players entered the transfer portal. Now, this is making it difficult on high school athletes because when 1,000 kids enter the transfer portal, what you got to look at is the kid. It's not just big name quarterbacks. We all know now, if you're watching college football, you know that now for a team to get a good quarterback, top-notch quarterback, they're paying big time money, upwards of over $1 million to get a quarterback. Most quarterbacks as you see in college, no matter what level you see them playing on, especially Division I, they're getting paid. They're getting paid. So kids are leaving out. But now it's not just the quarterbacks. It's the offensive linemen, the skill position. Everybody's moving because they want to get the biggest bang for their buck, or they want to get the biggest amount of money that they possibly can. Should we be upset with the kids? Well, no, they created this monster, so the kids are doing it. It puts a real tough spin on it because when a kid comes in and you think you've got that kid could easily transfer. But football isn't like that anymore. It isn't like that where they would take a chance on a kid from high school. So high school footballs are being affected, players are being affected because a coach would rather go out and get a kid out of the transfer portal. Most of the kids in the transfer portal, they've already got, some of them have redshirted. So the best example I can give you, a lot of these kids, you will see Carson Beck or somebody playing next Thursday night or in the playoffs. These quarterbacks are 23, 24 years. Some players are 25 years old. So what do you actually think that there's going to be? Now, in some cases, there will be some athletes out there that are just downright better at a younger age. But chances are there isn't going to be a 18-year-old kid coming out of high school that's going to be better than a kid that's 25 years old. It's not going to happen. So that coach is going to go out in the transfer portal and he's going to get him the players because rosters are constantly turning over. They're constantly turning over. So how does this happen? How does this make it really tough on high school football players? Well, you're going to have to be him. And when I mean you're going to have to be him, you're going to have to be that dog. You're going to have to be big, you're going to have to be strong, and you're going to have to be fast. If you're not big, strong, and fast, if you're an undersized kid, then you're going to have to be 4'2", 4'3", 40, 4'4", 40, and you're going to have to be able to produce. And not the 4'2", not the 40 that your homeboy on the local stand is saying that you run a 4'3", 40 when the fastest person on your high school track team runs a 10'9". You're not running a 4'4", 40. So those are some of the things that are affecting high school players. So what do high school players do right now? Well, I can tell you right now, when you get through watching this video, you probably need to go in the gym and start working out. That probably sounds a little bit harsh, but you need to be working out if you have aspirations of playing college football. Now, high school players that play down in the big time, down in high school football, down say in Duncanville and North Shore and all those teams, South Lake Carroll and all those teams that are playing 6A football, they already pretty much playing some semblance of college football. I'd say a level lower than some junior college football. So they're already playing. And you know those coaches down there, were in a small town, you have probably 80 players, 6 at the most. They've got 1,000 players to choose from. So they're picking the cream of the crop. So down in smaller schools like Jasper, Texas, Newton, Woodville, Silsbee, all these smaller schools, it makes it tough. You're going to have to be a standout athlete. You have to be a standout athlete. So it's something that I need you as a parent. You need to be watching it. You definitely need to be watching it. And like I said, a lot of you your kid may not have aspirations to play college football, but I'm here to tell you, that's what a bag is. The bag is in college football. A kid can put in the work right now, secure his bag, and once he secures his bag, his future will pretty much be set. And we're not talking chump change, ladies and gentlemen. No, we're not talking chump change. We're not. We're talking big time money. College football is a sport. I will continue to push that out to all of the people in the fold nine that college football is definitely a sport. But hey, so before we're going to keep rolling on to the next segment, I'm going to need you to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe and the donate button pinned at the bottom. To all of my subscribers who constantly watch my videos, I really appreciate it. This is our channel. Hey, and if you really want to be known on that, if you really want to be known, you want your comments to matter, jump in the comments, and if we get a video that's built up enough comments, I will definitely make a comment video about whatever it may be. Maybe about the video about the kid Ty Anthony Smith a couple of days ago. It may be about the amount of athletes that are coming from Jasper, Texas. That I done a video about how we're known for, Jasper, Texas is known for one of the most heinous hate crimes, or the most heinous hate crime ever that committed on American soil. And that's when somebody says Jasper, Texas, that's what people think about. But let truth be told, Jasper, Texas needs to be known for the amount of professional athletes and the amount of kids that are getting big time scholarships to go play sports, football, baseball, basketball, everything. So there are a lot of them. If you want to tune into that video and tell me what you think about that video, that's what we need to be known for in our small community. Once again, hit the like and subscribe button. Well, let's keep this thing rolling. Next up on the docket, college football playoffs. Well, this is just another sign of how things have changed in college football. It's just another sign. You saw the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they got took out by the Miami Hurricanes. Now, the way Miami had played during the beginning of the season, we could all see it. I know I done a bracket, and it was completely screwed up. But the way that the Miami Hurricanes played at the beginning of the season, yeah. But when they played down the middle of the season, no, you didn't see them beating Ohio State. But they came out, they were physical, they played football, and from all outset, it looks like, man, they're going to be a tough out. I know Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis and all the guys from Miami, as they say, the U is back, and we're going to see. We're going to see, because they're going to have their hands full. And but they're a great win for them after taking Ohio State out. Now, they're going to have to take out the Indiana Hoosiers, who completely dismantled. They completely dismantled the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm really disgusted in the Alabama Crimson Tide, the coaching staff. And the reason why is because, and I'm not per se an Alabama fan, I just love sports, but there are certain things in sports that when I sit up and watch it, I expect to happen. And when you see the Alabama Crimson Tide could not run the football, that isn't right. It isn't right. There are certain teams in sports, in football, college football, that historically through the years that I know that should be able to run the football. And if they can't, something's wrong. The Alabama Crimson Tide, the Auburn Tigers, okay? The Texas Longhorns, the Oklahoma Sooners, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, teams that historically could run the football, the Ohio State Buckeyes, teams like that, who could historically run the football. And also the quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't know how much his NIL deal was worth, but man, he was less than pedestrian. So, but kudos goes out to Indiana. Indiana got the job done. I love Kirk Cignetti. I love him. If you watch my channel, you know I've done a video on him. I think that he's great, and his Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, man, is getting the job done. I think he's a little bit too cheesy for me, but as far as on the field, the kid is definitely producing, and he's an example of that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a kid that has extraordinary character. He has good character, man, and he always puts his teammates first. So the Indiana Hoosiers versus the Miami Hurricanes should be a hell of a game. I think it's going to come down to whether Carson Beck Carson Beck, the highly touted, highly paid quarterback, will he continue to do the right things, or will this game be too big for him, or will the Cinderella story come to an end for the Indiana Hoosiers? Well, let's keep this thing rolling on. Well, the Texas Tech Red Raiders played the Oregon Ducks. And I'm telling you right now, the Texas Tech Red Raiders defense, they didn't have anything to be proud of. It was really, I know me and my brother Cedric, we were going back and forth, and we couldn't believe how the Texas Tech Red Raiders, after spent all that money, and they had the defensive players, but their offense came out and they laid a dud. They laid a dud, man. It was absolutely ridiculous how good the defense played over and over again. Time and time again, they continued to stop the Oregon Ducks. When you would think that the way the Oregon Ducks played against James Madison, the way James Madison put them up, you would think Texas Tech would take them out. But no, ladies and gentlemen, it did not happen. And the Oregon Ducks and Dan Lanning, you remember when Dan Lanning said the thing about Deion Sanders, and it didn't have any substance. And at the time, I know I got mad about it, but as you look back on it, Dan was actually telling the truth. So that's going to be a big time game. But they made it on. That was a big time game, and they were able to take out Texas Tech. But the game, I'm here to tell you, the game of the weekend was the Georgia Bulldogs and the Ole Miss Running Rebels. I wonder what Lane Kiffin is thinking right now, because the Ole Miss Running Rebels, they say it's hard to beat a team twice. I've never seen anything like this. It was the most extraordinary one of the most extraordinary college football games I'd ever seen. To weigh this Trinidad Chambliss. See, this is just another example of how it isn't where you start, it's where you finish, and how all these so-called gurus and all of this continue to pick. This kid played Division II ball last year, and just by the football gods giving him a break, this dude was balling. I mean, he was balling out. He looks like he's the best quarterback that's left out of the remaining two, him and the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. Now, they say Oregon's quarterback is going to be probably the first one picked, but I'm here to tell you, Trinidad Chambliss and the Ole Miss Running Rebels, they were balling. But you can't take anything away from Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm telling you right now, their quarterback, man, they were hitting Gunnar Stockton. They were hitting Gunnar Stockton, and I'm telling you, Gunnar Stockton, I like Gunnar Stockton, but the young man definitely gained my respect. He already had my respect, but that was an incredible game. And now we've got the showdown, man. We've got the showdown. So who's going to win it? Will the Ole Miss Running Rebels take out the Oregon Ducks and get to the championship? If they do, man, that's going to be something for Lane Kiffin. And I don't want to hear him saying give Lane a ring because it's his team. It's not. So those are some of the stories, ladies and gentlemen, that we want to touch on. Hey, what an incredible weekend. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Appreciate you guys and girls sticking with us here on the channel. Continue to stick with us. The drive continues to roll on. The numbers continue to grow. They continue to grow. For you, and we've always got to leave a comment for the haters out there. Some of the haters in my local town say, why you keep doing these sports videos? Well, you're not you're not saying that to the local radio station that's owned by you know who. You get my drift. This is Alan with D9J Sports. Keep rolling. It's Saturday. It's almost time to head back to work. We got another day. Be careful out there. The drive. I'm definitely OU.